Well, UAW members at GM plants here in Southeast Michigan are casting their votes for the tentative agreement that would end the strike.
That agreement remains on the table, and it's not a done deal yet.
In fact, workers in some areas have already rejected the deal. 7 Action News reporter Matthew Smith is live at the Detroit-Hamtramck plant. And Matt, how are things looking there?
Well, it does depend on who you talk to. You know, different people feel differently, and it really also is going to depend on the plants, right? So we know that Detroit-Hamtramck Assembly, these workers will get a chance to vote today, but so too will the workers down in Lordstown, Ohio. It'd be a shock to the system if those workers in Ohio didn't reject this deal. Remember, they're the ones that will have their plant axed in the end, unlike here where they'll stay open. So in Lordstown, they'd be joining a number of plants that have already rejected this deal. That includes Rochester, New York. It also includes Spring Hill, Tennessee. We are also learning here at 7 Action News that we'll see plants like Chicago and Cincinnati turn this down, even some here in Metro Detroit.
It didn't happen for us, and the only excuse they gave us was they were wanting to close down parts plants, and that was the concession that the union made.
Our pay is not the same as everybody else's pay.
UAW 653, Pontiac Parts Warehouse. These folks are not happy. The word they've got from inside informational meetings this week, the deal doesn't help them like they'd hope. Many expressing that they're not getting the same path to full-time status that others are at assembly plants. And now the workers in part plants, well, they feel left out to dry. We're told that's a similar reasoning for workers in Chicago and Cincinnati that are rejecting this deal.
I asked them, why is there such a big gap?
8 years to get it to $25 an hour, and that's still $7 an hour less than what the person next to me is going to be making.
The answer that was given was, well, you always have the option to go to an assembly plant. That's not a solution, that's an excuse.
So those votes will continue to come in. We know Flint was one of the bigger unions. They voted yesterday. They voted yes for the contract. Today we will hear what Detroit-Hamtramck does. Tomorrow, Lake Orion, those folks on the line, they'll be voting as well. I'll tell you, we've been telling these things. We are still more than half the people, 60% or so, are saying yes to this contract, but that means that this thing is still up in the air. We really have to wait until the end to find out whether the strike will continue beyond this week. We'll keep an eye on it, and we'll continue to bring you updates as they become available. We're live this morning. Matthew Smith, 7 Action News.